Hi guys, right, hopefully you've seen my video just introducing what on earth is going on this bench. So you've got some sort of idea what's going on here. Does look a bit crazy from where I'm at. There's a lot of stuff here and it did take a lot of ordering, it took a lot of shipping, it took a lot of finding, if I'm honest with you. Things like this damper set, and I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna go into all detail on this, and I'm gonna get you a nice camera angle so you can see all of this after I finish just having a quick chat. Things like this, these are hard to find. They're in the UK, they're stupid money, and I wouldn't have paid the money that they charge in the UK for these things. They were well under half price getting them from abroad. So yeah, like I said, I mean, you know, I want to build the best I can build out of this, and this is a fairly basic chassis, this MF-01X. It's a basic chassis, but it won't be by the time I finish with it. And as you can see, I didn't unbox it because it's a kit, so you don't really unbox a kit and get it out. I mean, you can see it. It's here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start just preparing to build it, and I'll get ready for this. And what I'm actually going to do is I've checked out, I always check out who's done what videos on YouTube before I start these things. And there's a guy on YouTube, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, I'm definitely going to be giving him credit. He's done a full series on building one of these MF-01X chassis. He's done a really good job of it. He's built it completely kit form. He's built it the way you would do straight out of the box. He's done a good job on it. He's done a great job on his videos, and there's really not a lot of point in me going back over the ground he's done. I might as well just completely credit him with everything he's done so far. He's built the thing all the way up to finish, and he's built the Beetle as well, so he's actually built this one. I'm going off track on that because obviously I'm putting a completely different body on it. And all this is all totally different. So, but the main thing is that really what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of let you use his videos to show you how to build one of these standard. That's fine. He's done a brilliant job on it. But all these parts are custom. So all these parts are custom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the manual, and obviously wherever there's a standard part that's been replaced by a custom part, I'm going to have to switch it out. So it won't be the same as a standard build at all. As it stands, this wheelbase that I'm building is different to the wheelbase it comes with standard. I've got parts to adapt it for that, because that's the whole point in this build is that you can build it on a shorter wheelbase which fits the body as well. But yeah, I'm going to set the camera angle up so you can see much closer. You don't want to see me, you want to see the bits. So I'll get on and do that, and we'll come back. Right guys, all set up. So what I've got standard Tamiya kit layout. Just at this stage, just going to sort of talk you through what I do. I'll make sure I've got a tin for each one of these part bags. Sometimes might even need two for each one, depending on how busy they are. At the moment, I've just laid everything out. All the parts are ready, so I've got things I won't go in obviously straight away. I've got an ESC, good hobby wing one. I've got a motor that's going to make it fly. It really is. 39 kV motor. That's a lot for what this thing is. So just go through this car, the chassis. Just give you a sense of scale. You don't realise how small it is until you pick the wheels up. I mean, it doesn't help you messing around with 1/8, but these are small wheels. And I only really noticed when I looked at the tyres, I thought, my lord, they're small. So everything's in proportion for this scale, obviously. So we've got small wheels and small tyres, and this is the Beetle body. Obviously, it's the Beetle kit. I'm not using this body, but I have actually built a 1/10 Beetle before, and they're a lot bigger than that. So this is a very small car. So normally I'm putting a lot of power through a 1/10. I'm going to put even, well, just as much through a 1/12. So there's a sense of scale for you. Like I said, it's not a big car, but we'll see. That's what size the body is, so that's the size of car we're doing. First things first, building a Tamiya makes yourself a cup of tea and keep them coming, because it's not a 5-minute job building a Tamiya, especially not with this amount of hop-ups. So I'm going to bring these hop-ups over. So there's a big pile of hop-ups. I'm going to magically make those organised. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, it fills this whole mat up. So every single one of these is a replacement for a plastic part in the kit, and there's a lot of hop-ups here, so a lot of the kit's getting replaced. So I've got servo mount, rear damper stay, CVDs, steering parts anyway, uprights for the back, and obviously arms, motor mount, because I'm putting a stupid motor through it, and I thought that was a good idea to have a hop-up with an upgraded screw set, and a short prop shaft because we're building a short wheelbase, and this comes on a long wheelbase for the Beetle. So like I said, it's going to be even shorter than that Beetle. Then I've just laid out these parts. The main chassis parts, like all Tamiyas, and nicely bagged up. Bunch there that builds the gearboxes and chassis, and that helps you decide which chassis to build. So whether you build the short, medium, or long. Looking in this one, all sorts of bits and bobs in there, but a lot of it's dampers. And like, I've got the hop-up of all hop-ups for these dampers, because these dampers are actually in the standard truck, or whatever it is, buggy, I don't know what you call that, Beetle. They're not even oil filled. So if you watch one of these bounce around, you know, built standard, they're quite funny looking things to bouncing around. But all good and well if you're just sort of bouncing around with a standard motor and stuff, but not really any good with a high speed setup. So yeah, we've got these nice aluminium dampers, and it's going to be easy. These are already built, so we'll plonk those on. So that's the standard Tamiya layout really. All I need to do now is undo what I've just done now, because I need to clear the bench. I need to have some space. I don't need everything on it. It comes with a torque tune motor, which is interesting for such a small car. So really, I just want to clear these things out of the way that I'm definitely not using for the foreseeable. Nice high-speed out-turn servo there as well. It's all good stuff, so I'm not cheaping out on it. Bag of gears, we'll need those fairly soon. By the old Tamiyas will build the gears first. But as it stands, these hop-ups, I don't think we're going to need almost all of them. I don't think we're going to need almost all of them until a fair way in. They're all parts that bolt on the exterior, apart from the servo mount. I think we're going to need that sooner rather than later. But I could sort of file these neatly out of the way. Starting on page 1, which is the first place to start. They're all the same Tamiya manuals, lots of warnings and lots of stuff. We all know that. Here's the wheelbases, short, medium, long. Building short, and I'll be double sure on that once the actual body comes. Should be here any minute. So essentially, it's straight up Tamiya, straight out of the book of Tamiya, which is to build differentials and gearboxes. So that's the first step. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make use of this new mat that I bought. And the reason I bought it is because it's actually got little parts boxes in it, and these areas are magnetic. I don't know how strong they are, but it seems like a really good idea. So I'm going to empty this gear bag out. The main gears, put them in there, oh, nicely organised. 9 times out of 10 with the Tamiya, if you stay organised, there's really not a lot you can do wrong. So I actually bought this mat because I was building the Tamiya, and I thought it'd be nice to find a new way of organising things. Now, and that's a bunch of diff gears. That's fairly obvious. That's what we're looking at here, which is BA19. So we've got a bag of gears, a bag of washers, and then a bag of screws. So that is now the B parts. So I know what they are. They've got to stay there, and they come in and out of that. these are to scale, these parts. Differential's normally the same, you know, so that'll be the same as that. These are the scale normally. Down here, well, the screws are anyway, I know the screws are. So there's a bunch of washers in there. Right, so we can have these washers out. Lo and behold, I've just noticed on my map, they've only gone and marked this parts box A, B and C. Wow, didn't even notice it. So I can actually put these in the right one. It's like a little working section. So I'm going to put these in B, but I'm going to get rid of all of these bushings. And I have just lost track of how many of these I've got. And all we're left with is that. What I can do is just use these areas. So stick these in there. Not like I'm going to forget what they are. And I'll take the bits out of there that I need now, and I'll put the rest back in the B section. So we need one of these. We need one of these. It tells you here what you need, so we do need both the washers. Let's lay this out. Yeah, standard Tamiya differential. Been a long time. And we're going to need all the right grease for this. Pretty much everything's in this bag that you need. I'm not sure if there's anything that's not, to be honest with you. So we'll just lay all this out, because the next stage, we've got to do this bit right. This is the bit you really do want to do right. If you're going to start putting brushless power through it, this is what's going to melt. You don't put anti-wear grease, proper anti-wear grease on these metal parts. That's why people fail with brushless systems in these cars. And I haven't lost the gearbox yet, and every single Tamiya I've had run on 3S. And that's well over 10 in the last 2 years. So. Right, so this is the magic. This is the magic that people miss. And this little tube will save your gearbox. It's just as simple as that. You don't put this in there and you put lots of brushless power through it, it'll knacker the gearbox. If you put this in there, it'll be fine. So you've got to make sure you put it in on the metal parts. It doesn't matter about the nylon parts. You can use anything you want in there. I use standard grease. This is the important part, because this stops these just shredded. So, and it's hard to get. You can't buy it in the UK. They can't sell this stuff in the UK, so you have to get it from abroad. If you're going to build, I mean, if you look at it, you only need a tiny bit. If you're going to build 10 Tamiyas on 3S out of this, just do it. You can buy an equivalent to that. I'm not sure what it is, but this is the go-to stuff. So just get yourself some and put it in there. Right, that's my preaching done, because that is my biggest bugbear about people saying Tamiyas can't do brushless stuff. I've heard it, and I've started a whole Facebook group around it. They can't do 3S, they can't do this, can't do that. Oh, all right, there might be a handful on 3S. To say they can't do it though, that's wrong. They can do it. People might not want to do it, that's different. But can they do it? Yes, they can. And all I'm going to do is start looking at the way this goes together. Everywhere where you've got a metal part going against, so here, we've got this washer. So you just have a look, there's two mating surfaces there. So this is really thick. It looks like metal. You don't need loads, but at the same extent, there's no point skimping on it. So it'll sandwich and it'll run about. So, and it's only these metal parts you need to worry about. Don't worry about the other bits. They can have whatever oil on you want. And the only thing is you'll get on your hands and it's a bit sticky. But. So there's enough there to seat that washer on there. It is a bit fiddly and it is a little bit messier than it would be without it. Doesn't really matter to me. So we'll put it that way down. This is what they said do. The spider's got at the bottom of this. Just get a little bit in there. There needs to be loads. Anywhere these are going to spin, metal on metal, just get, make sure wherever it's going to touch, you've got this stuff in there. You just want to be able to feel it, so it's not metal on metal, then it's a little bit stickier than that. feels right, and it starts to go on your fingers. You know, it's sticky stuff. I'm just putting a blob in there, and I'll just run that straight in. These are the only metal parts apart from a pinion inside the Tamiya, full stop. So why not get it right? Right, now this does get messy because you want it on the actual spider gears as well. Now you don't need loads, and this is just this is a sticky, messy job, so just do it and then wash your hands afterwards. Obviously it'll spread, but you'll get enough on there to actually make it stop spreading. And this is a trick that the first guy I ever met to run 3S brushless Tamiyas said to me. He taught me from the day I asked him. He said make sure you use this stuff, and he'd never lost a gearbox either. Diff at the end of the day. Yeah, it's a bit of a sticky old mess, you know, to start off with. Yeah, you can actually hear it. You hear it starting to sort of make a noise, a familiar noise of things sticking. Right, let's put this top part on so it's a washer. There's already some on those spider gears, but you might as well. There's no point in putting some everywhere and then forgetting a piece. So we'll cover that as well. That just sits on top. It's starting to get a bit mucky because it's all over my hands. Well, I'm going to wash my hands right after this. Just give the mat a wipe as well because it starts to get everywhere. And that should be all of the metal on metal parts done. So the key to all this is to make sure you set yourself some reward. So build a bit, have a cup of tea. I want to enjoy this. It's it might be a long slog, but you don't want to. You want to enjoy yourself along the way. I'll have a cup of tea between each bit. Just need to screw this together now. Just because I know what they look like. It must be the small ones in here. Right, I think you just need these little tiny ones. All these Tamiya diffs are the same. Unless you have a ball diff, and then, well, good luck keeping that. Right, been a long time Tamiya screwdrivers, so proper Tamiya drivers, because you think they're Phillips or crossheads, they're not. So you'll use two sorts. It's a bigger one and a smaller one, and that'll do the whole build. Don't need anything else. Ah, okay. Had a dumb blonde moment. Right, so these go in between the pins, which makes a lot more sense because then you can screw into the parts where I was looking where the pins go. So, yeah, like I said, there's a blonde moment. If I'm allowed to say that these days, I'm not sure. Let's take this spin. A shaft or something to spin that with. I would like to feel it and make sure it spins okay. There's got to be an output shaft on it somewhere. Just full tie it then. Just hold it together and just see. You can hear it. You can hear the grease starting to work. It's all good, so we'll spin these screws in. You'd think it shouldn't take so long to do this bit, but if you don't do this bit right, you lose your gearbox. Simple as that. As you can see, You might be able to hear it, I don't know. It's sticky, but it's working. It's a gearbox casing somewhere. It's quite thick, this stuff. So you'll want some proper cutters for it. And I will have to clean this off because these cutters are just not up to the job. They always say do this away, but I've got no control going away. And at the end of the day, you do need a little bit of control when you've got something sharpened, you know. It just needs, it doesn't have to be perfect. So that's that side cleaned off. Just there's only cosmetic anyway. Right, so there's what we're looking for. What we're going to do with it. Ah, I just realised this is a motor plate. This is a motor plate. I've got a hop up for it. Aha! Thought I recognised it. First standard part we're not using. Right, so hop up motor plate. Let's get this out. It is hop up aluminium. It's called MF-01X motor mount. It's part number 54660. Got it from Tony's Tamiya. Usual fast service. Okay, it does. Oh, it seats. Okay, it seats. Yeah, okay. I'll go with that. Alright. Seats on there, and there's still a little sticky pad on that. I have no idea what that's for. Sponge tape. We're going to find sponge tape. It must be in one of the bags. Just got to make sure I put that roughly where they've said put it. I honestly don't know what this is for. It can only be to put the motor up against. I don't know why you do that. Not really sure. But it's there for what it's worth. I'm not sure what it does. Must be some reason for it. Right, so we do need some screws. BA6. This is B. Should all be the same length, I think. I'll just check. This is a scale, so you can just check on that. So one in there, one in there. One there. Big tin of grease. This is general purpose car grease. So I'm just checking this out, how this goes together before I grease it up, because I don't want to be getting covered in grease. That's obviously got to be held. That's the gear. Sloppy as hell, that is. Put that shaft in. Feels better. Still feels, it's not the nicest action though. It's actually catching there, and no, I don't like that at all. Not liking the way that feels. Just showing that part there. It's a better angle from there. You can see that what I'm doing is right. It's just sloppy. I think I'm not used to Tamiya's anymore. It's sloppy. Feels sloppy, looks sloppy, but right, let's not worry about that too much and get some grease on it. That shaft goes in there. It's on bearings, so that shouldn't need any grease on those. It's going to need grease all over here. And what I do is literally just spin it around. You can try as much as you want not to get it on your hands, but you might as well wipe it off afterwards. So that next part, that's going to need greasing. I'm just going to decide. I'm decided I don't mind getting greasy and mucky, if I'm honest with you. Just have a quick wash afterwards. Don't want to be getting it all over everything else. But this is how I did all the gearboxes. They are all done the same. Everywhere where there's something that touches something else, it gets a real good slot of grease, and none lost so far. in there. That will then slide onto there. That bearing's going in there. And see, it feels nice. See, as soon as you get some grease in there, it starts to feel nice. And that's still not enough. Starting, that's it. I think I'll run a little bit so we've got some on my fingers. I'll run a bit more in there. That's the noise I look for. It's that I've got grease on my noise. Yeah. You never know what's going to rub and touch what either. You just don't know. This is rubbing. This is actually at the moment rubbing against this part. So why not lubricate that and stop it from wearing if it does. Right, now I need to make sure I've got everything in, and if I've got everything in, I'm going to have a clean up. I need to get A2. This part I've got no control going away from it, it's just sort of like zappity doo dah, off it goes. Bring it back the other way and I can scrape it. I've said before in these videos, people go mad about warnings on scalpels. You need a warning about a scalpel, and we shouldn't have one of those. Right. Okay, more tape. I'm assuming I've got the right stuff. This is the only stuff that looks like sponge tape. A lot of it, mate. Tamiya always give you miles too much, and then you think, well, hold on a minute, have I not used enough, or? No, again, no idea why I'm doing this. I don't know what purpose it serves. Looks like it's for something to rest on. Right, so that's those two. Alright, I said 3. Oh, there's another one goes inside, so one goes in there. That's tight. Okay. One tight, one loose. Better. So we'll find out what that's for another time. I don't know what I've done with this sponge tape though. There's 2 sorts of sponge tape there. I'm going to have to look forward and just see what else needs sponge tape, see if it's obvious what it's for. There we go. Apply according to battery size. It doesn't say, it just says sponge tape again. And that's got to be the stuff the battery sits on though. The stuff I've already used. It's too thick, I think. That's the stuff you just sit a battery on, I think. I could be wrong. It's longer as well, so you can split it in 2. But I'll carry on with this. I've used what I've used now. Not really that great an instruction, if I'm honest with you, just telling you to use some sponge and then find out you've got 2 afterwards. Still got some on this side, at the top there. Part of what I cut before, so that's handy, isn't it? Right, there we go. Okay. Now I do need some grease on this. I've just finished greasing, which is handy. That's what my trousers are for, except wipe it off. That's all I want to do really, is get it together. I've got to do these up first. But if you go out and then back in, and then out and then back in, and out and then back in, it lets the swarf come back out of the thread, and you're not forcing it all inside. talking something really, but right, it's as much as you talk as you're going to get on a bit of plastic like that. Right, let's put that together. Okay, I need to be able to spin something to check it's all working. I'll put a shaft to do. So it's 3 screws by the looks of it. Right, so I'm going to call that part 1 now. There's a couple of little bits need screwing onto it, but that'll do for now. Be a long enough video just for the gearbox. And I'll move on to the next step in the next one.